everyone, and welcome to another episode from I'm Not a Robot. Today, with me, I have Anke, who is the head of strategic operations at Ströer Core, and they are working on defining and developing Ströer Group's core products. Hi, Anke, how are you?
Hi, Helen. Thank you for having me. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good as well, thank you. As you know, with every guest that joins the podcast, I start by resolving the CAPTCHA to make sure
Yes.
that you're a human. So, can you tell me something about yourself that is very human?
Very human. Yeah. I think this is a question which answers have changed over the years. So, some years ago, I would have answered that I play sports, for example, volleyball. But if you look at the Boston Dynamic crazy robots who even can dance, well, okay. Then another thing would be my personality. I'm always in a good mood. I'm very empathetic and so on. So, but if you think about emotion AI and character AI and stuff like this, mental health applications, all these crazy things out there, I think this is also not a good proof of being human anymore. So at least what stays, I love to enjoy eating food. So I did not hear about a robot or a machine that can smell or taste. So this is for today. My capture, I love eating delicious things. So maybe this is a good proof, but not sure how long it will be a proof anymore.
I think that's a great answer. That's very true because robots don't need to eat and they not. Also, I met a lot of people who enjoy what they eat and a lot of people who are just like, it's food. You eat it and that's
Yeah.
it. But I think some people, and I think you do as well, some people have that, you eat your food and you enjoy it to the fullest.
Yes.
So that's a very human thing. That's right. And well, speaking of your passion about food, how did your passion for AI started? I know that you're really interested in that too.
Yes. So, as a part of the corporate strategy and innovation team at Ströer, we publish a foresight study every 2 years. And the first one started in 2021. And the very core of our study is to visualize the development and the timing of relevant techniques for our market. So, which techniques are very close, which ones are far away, which ones are relevant for the German media industry, and which ones are not. So in 2021, Gen AI was one of two our biggest points in our trend radar. So we already believe that this thing will come to change our entire world. But we did not see how fast this thing will evolve. So we started I think on a basis who's more knowledge based, not very close to our business or close to cases, and of course then ChatGPT kicked in. Yes, no surprise. This really was the point of no return for us. So even me as a person that never gained experience with the AI before is now able to use a tool that generates answers, ideas, articles, concepts, then pictures, now videos, actually even music. So what the future? This is really fascinating. And yes, I think this fascinating stuff is that which follows my curiosity in these things. And yeah, I think this is a point. So a lot of things that happens at the same time that keeps us running, and you have to run because when you don't do, I think you will pass the point of what happens there, and you can't close the gap to the point of today.
Absolutely. I think that's a very important point. And it's, I think what you're doing in particular, it's very interesting because you spoke about the German media industry and how it's going to be affected. And these days we see different videos that can be created with technologies like Sora. We see text being created. And when we speak about media, I mean, I'm not the expert on that, but when I say media, in my mind, I think about the newsletters, the publicities, a lot of material that now can be created also using AI tools. And I think that creates a lot of different questions when it comes to how are we going to identify what is the AI created? If we can identify it, is it going to be important? So a lot of strategic decisions that need to be taken around this topic as well. And I want to ask you, how do you think this is going to be affecting strategy professionals and people like you who work in innovation and topics like that?
So from my perspective, it's still the easiest thing. It is to don't lose people. Because I think businesses are still people businesses. AI is there to help and not to replace something. So because people are doing the work, for me it's the same thing with with industry robots. They take over typical human tasks, but like manufacturing and so on. But people build robots, they maintain them, and so on. So I think this is quite similar to AI. Of course, people will. AI may replace some tasks for humans, or some humans who do some special tasks, but they are still a human need in decision making and so on. So if I remember correctly, then Gianluca wrote in one of his last newsletters that all the big companies that fired a lot of people at the very beginning of this year are not performing very well right now. So for me, face it real, people are and will be the essence of our business. There might be fields or industries, but I think at the end, it will not replace humans on a very high level. So I think one of the biggest challenge is not to bet on AI only and to think that AI is the solution for everything, for every problem, for every task we have or every challenges we face. So I think it should be better also on the strategic level to find sensible ways in which AI can support people, merge the best of both worlds, and then bring it together harmoniously. So last week, one of my colleagues had an interesting thought. He bets that humans will develop into something like an interface. So let's say a human face, because real humans will be in the future more trustworthy. They could enhance the feeling of quality. So if you talk to an AI and you ask the same questions and the AI is doing what I am doing now, it's okay. An AI did it, so every AI can do it. So what is specially? The special thing is, the human capture, the human quality, the interaction maybe between humans. So when a real person takes care of you, you feel valued. And this is a very sensible thought to me. AI will be evolving to a back-end thing. And I do believe that this could be a version of our future that is not completely crazy. So, I think that's very, very sensible to me.
That's true. Maybe the future would look like that. I also, now that you quoted Gianluca, by the way, the founder of AI Academy, I also remember him mentioning once, in the future, maybe there will be so many books and articles written by AI that maybe a great publicity will be made by human, written by human. There will be a book and people will say, look, this was written without AI. This is incredible. Maybe that will be like the interesting thing. And how do you think all this is going to create challenges for the advertising sector?
I believe that there are more chances than challenges. So the most easiest thing you already mentioned is regarding the advertising sector is all about content generation. People are worried about losing their jobs and if their job is focusing on creating content only. So from my perspective only on this point, AI can help to create better content. Yes, that's the main point. You can be faster, maybe. You can raise your quality. You can raise up to an expert level you never could reach before. So I think this is one thing. The other thing is advertisers need to be better, to get better in using data. So this is maybe a challenge advertisers can solve with the help of AI. This is a really huge thing. So, and also it could happen that AI leads us to less advertising space. So you have a better quality because of the data you have. You can predict more events and stuff like that. So thanks to higher quality, you have less advertising space. That is getting better. So you could have maybe more competition regarding the advertising space. This is something that could happen, but maybe I think not in the next 2 or 3 or 4 years. Will come, especially in Germany, a bit later, maybe in 5 or 6 years. Yeah. But in general, I think AI can help the advertising industry to get better in reaching people. Yeah, at the same time, at the right time, with the right message. Yeah, and at the right place. So, yeah, I think AI could help us then kill us.
I really, I really like that. I mean, we're laughing now, but
yeah. Let's talk in 3 years. Yeah.
See, I think a bit more. Come on. Okay. Anyway, so this actually made me think when you think about it as the classic approach of AI taking jobs or creating jobs, because a lot of people argue that AI would be taking a share in the market, a share in the pool of possibilities of the business that's going to be done. But then there's the counter argument where you say, yeah, but what if AI actually enlarges the market that it's entering into? So to me, it sounds like you mentioned how this can also create more opportunities, more different ways of working, but also different kind of advertising, different ways of making business. So it's super interesting. And I think I also usually have more of an optimistic approach towards the future with AI. So I think it's exciting to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Ströer, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly at this point, even if it took me a while. So, within Ströer, what kind of initiatives you're undertaking to ensure that the staff is also prepared for this?
So first, we are focusing on education and enabling, and also on the development of curiosity. I think this is a very important thing if you and your business are doing foresight and have a look into the future to be better prepared. So as we are a very, very diverse company, as we are in the out-of-home business, no secret, but also in the digital and dialogue media, as well as the data as a service business and a little bit of e-commerce, our employees are very different. So we have media salesperson, call center agents, accountants, lawyers, recruiters, developers. So it's a very crazy team structure. So from this perspective, it makes sense to have not a general AI strategy for the whole company. Every department at Ströer, at least every person, can decide which tool or application is the most efficient solution for their daily business or for their project. So, of course, we do have general guidelines due to data protection in Germany and, of course, to protect our business model. But at least for me, it's a good thing that we have this decision-making process. So, and even data protection is an important stuff for me. So we are always talking a lot of regulation and Europe and Germany and all these laws we have. So I talked to an expert some weeks ago, and he had a very, very good example. So he told me, Anke, think about your car can drive 200 or 250 kilometers per hour. So you would never drive through a city with 200 kilometers per hour. So he said it does not make sense to drive through a city, even if you can, or passing a school or kindergarten. So this is why speed for cars is regulated. So this was a very smart example to me why regulation is something positive that must be done smart, but which is necessary anyway. So it was an eye-opening moment for me. But long story short, so we want our employees to be aware about risks, but also about possibilities. So first we started with your AI Academy Masterclass program, and Gianluca helped us to start with our journey, especially in the corporate strategy and innovation team. And we learn how to stay focused on the journey, and we have learned several things to continue the journey, because the one thing is to start, and the one thing is to do the marathon, the long run, to keep trying, keep on, to don't get frustrated if it not works the way you think it should work. So, this is one point. And second, we have a network, let's say a network of experts, also Gianluca, to help us to stay on top of information around happenings in the AI world. And the most important thing in this is try and error. So we test several applications and tools weekly or on a daily basis maybe. So we develop several MVPs, test them, and then we, if we consider them for useful, we can spread them into our organization and share them also with clients. So this is, I think, these are the 3 points we are right now,
I think that it was, let's say, it was a real pleasure to see how you worked on things after also our collaboration, because it almost felt like we provided you with some frameworks, with a structure on how to approach the topic. And you and your team kept working on it, came back with questions. So you participated in it so much. You were so interested and ready and hungry for that. I think that's why it created a great environment. And it was great to also see how much you took out of it and how you moved it forward even after the workshops that we had. So it was great from my side as well to see. It was really interactive also from our side.
Yes.
And I think another thing that we care a lot about is to maintain the human approach when we're talking about AI-related topics. As you can see from the name of our podcast, I'm not a robot, but it's also how we approach the projects, the things that we work on. And how do you think you ensure within Ströer this the maintenance of this human-centered approach?
So in our case, I'm quite unsure if this is a typical company approach or if it should be an approach to everyone. So if it's if I should give you my opinion for everyone, it would stay updated. Try tools, use them, try to integrate them into your daily business and your daily tasks. Try to fix challenges you're facing with. So I think this is the best way to learn how AI works and to find out what value it can have for you and for everyone out there. From a company perspective, I think it's give people the space and time to do this, to learn, to be part of the AI journey, because it's still a very new thing. I don't know how to call it. Is it a technique or is it something? I don't know. It's AI. It's crazy. So I think an important thing is to not cut possibilities for AI. So we should have guidelines, of course, but smart guidelines who enables people and not to stop them in working with AI. So I think this is still the people-centered approach that I would also focus on this question.
Yeah, I think that's a really important part. It's also one of the things where we all know. I think we just don't know how to work on that, but it's not that hard to keep the people in the center. Also, I think that some things that we need to always consider is learning is something that takes time.
Yes,
learning is not, we can't take education in pills and the day after we're ready to apply what we learned. I think it's a process. Like at least for me, it's always been a process that is short or long, depending on the experience, the environment, the possibility to apply what you're learning. But those are things that we always try to keep in mind while also designing the training programs that we have, because we need to give people the time, but also the opportunity to take the information and then also put that information in use and get feedback from it, because that's when the real learning happens. So
yeah, it's a journey. Yeah, it's a journey. Yeah. Sometimes you need to climb the hill, sometimes it goes down, sometimes too far away from which point you would like to stop. So I think this is an important thing to keep in mind. It's new to everyone. And you have some experts and some who knows more about large language models or how models works and stuff and so on. But at the end, for everyone, it's a journey to learn how to handle this new technique or ground technique who will change very, very key things in our lives. So yesterday I created a song from my best friend for her 40th birthday with Suno. I think, is it Suno? Suno, yes. She is a big Blink-182 fan, so I designed a song in this style with personalized content, and it sounds really good. So I cannot sing, I cannot create music, I don't have a clue about it, and now I'm able to do this. What the future is going on here? And it was crazy. I showed it to some of my friends and said, what do you think about it? And how did you do that? It was just a 3 lines prompt, not more than 120 signs. And it was a fantastic song that comes out. Yeah. So, and if you have these experiences, even if it's music or writing a concept or creating a picture, I think then your journey will show which value you can get out of AI.
Yeah, I think what I like about that the most, I mean, there's also this whole discussion of, the copyright and how's that going to affect artists, which is also super important. That's something that we talk a lot about. But at the same time, like looking at it from a high perspective, just, without thinking about these details, I think what AI does most of the time is to give people abilities that they didn't have and they couldn't have. As you said, like you would not be able to just put a band together. I mean, you would be, but like at the same time while you work and, daily life, it's just a lot of work, for your friend, probably you would not be able to go and register and like create a song. But in this case, you were able to. And how I felt about it back in the years as well, there were so many things that I would not even be able to imagine doing because coding is required or because there's a lot more, let's say, material that I need to work with and maybe it takes more time. Now I feel like as much as I respect the copyright and artists and all the conversation there that needs to be also probably somehow regulated, it still gives people an opportunity to push their limits, to go beyond their capabilities, which I think is very interesting because there are so many people on the planet who just never get opportunities to show what they can do. And now the barrier gets so low. And I think now there's a lot more, it just gets a lot easier to put stuff out there. So this conversation can go until tomorrow morning if I go into detail with the copyright. I think as you just said, like you were able to do a song for a friend of yours, and that's, I think, just beautiful, it's really nice.
Yeah, and it even made me proud. That's crazy, because I did not do this song by myself. I did not even create it, but I had the idea. And I had a tool. So this matches perfectly together. And so I was, even if AI did it, the whole work, I was proud and say, I created a song for my friend. So I had the discussion also with my boyfriend, and he loves music. He has a favorite artist and stuff and so on. He's like, oh my God, what is with the hard work of the artist and stuff? And I said, I don't care about the artists because they were born with a fantastic voice. me not. So it's not fair. Yeah, it's just a genetic thing. So my voice isn't good, so nobody would listen to my music. So but now I can create something which is normally out of my reach, and now it's there. So yeah, I
think
also understand the other side. So there is a business. There are people who are creative and who are fantastic musicians and artists and stuff and so on. But what if we both are the next superstars in movies?
I think
Just our clone.
This is where like we see, I mean, if you're creating a song for your friend for her birthday, you don't harm anyone. I think the conversation comes a bit more in detail where let's say you create the song and you want to sell it to companies to use in their marketing efforts, and then you make money out of it. Then it's a whole different deal where you're like, okay, now we need to discuss what is art, what is not, blah, blah. But now, like, the thing you did is harmless. And I think there are a lot of situations like that where we became a bit more hesitant to approach AI because we have all these question marks. But yeah, some use cases are just not causing harm, I guess.
Yeah. But maybe you will hear it in 2 or 3 weeks in the radio. So
then they will use this podcast in the court against you. That's fun. Yeah. And I think just to like wrap up things, I know that we're both a bit more, future optimists. I think there's a huge value in being an optimist and seeing what are the great things that can come out of this. Because I believe that I was talking about my response to what makes me human when it comes to me resolving the CAPTCHA. I always say, I think we have a superpower as humans where we can take an idea and turn that into reality. And if we have those positive ideas, the optimistic, the projects that are going to actually cause something good using AI, that's going to become our reality because those are the things that we're going to be working on. And I think it's super valuable. And I'm interested in hearing what you think is going to happen in the future. In 5 years, 10 years, what kind of reality is expecting us?
So, my perfect vision is something like Jarvis. I don't know if you know Jarvis. Jarvis is the AI assistant of Iron Man out from the Marvel universe. So I expect to have a 360-degree assistant around every time, who is not replacing me and not doing my work, but helps me in overcoming my challenges. So even Jarvis does not replace Iron Man, and Iron Man is very, very independent in what he's doing, but he uses his assistant to come over his challenges, to analyze his data and stuff like that, and looking for information. He uses it for search approaches and stuff like that. So I think this would be, in my fantasy, in my imagination, a very, very nice thing. Yeah. So some of us may also have it like with Amazon Echo at home and these intelligent sound systems. But I think this now can grow even with some AI gadgets the world is facing now. I think I've heard yesterday or this week about the new Rewind is now limitless AI, I think. And they have this smart clip to clip it on your clothes, and it records everything you hear and speak. So you need it sounds a little bit crazy, yes. And you also need your partner's acceptance, of course. It records the acceptance and even starts only if the acceptance is approved. But This is crazy because you don't need to write anything down in a meeting, or you can even ask him, what says the doctor today, which thing should I do, which sports should I do now. And maybe this together with all the AI stuff helps in become or develop a assistant like this. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm curious about it.
I'm really curious to see as well, but I think that's very likely. Yeah, I see that becoming a thing. Well, I guess we're going to go through that and see all together, and maybe in a future episode of this podcast, 10 years from now, we'll do, what's it called? Like a comeback. Just like we're going to invite everyone who joined, and maybe we'll be speaking about Ströer discussing some kind of strategy for advertising in Jarvis.
Yes, maybe.
That could be a case. Yeah. Well, it's been so interesting to talk to you about this, Anke. Thank you so much for bringing your insights, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much, Helen. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
For me as well. Bye.